You're listening to the Mortgage Success Podcast, a show created to inspire mortgage brokers to achieve optimal success in their mortgage businesses. I'm the host, Brian France, the author of the book, Internet Marketing for Mortgage Brokers, Tripling Your Online Sales by Getting Your Internet Marketing Done the Right Way. I'm also the founder of Mortgage Broker Marketing, the digital marketing agency for the mortgage industry. On each episode, I'll be sitting down with industry leaders to talk about their processes, the lessons they've learned, and how to find success in your mortgage business. Welcome, Mortgage Success Podcast listeners. With me today is Alec Hanson. Alec, welcome.
Hey, Brian. Nice to see you, man. Thanks for having me on, dude.
Awesome. Yeah, no problem. For those that don't know, Alec, it's a long history in mortgage. He produces a lot of great content on his website, social channels. He wrote a book, Bypass, which I suggest everyone should go check out. And please introduce yourself.
Well, it's nice to talk to you guys and hear and be with your audience, Brian. 20 something years, 21 years in lending, a long time. And anyone who's been in lending for longer than 5 years, it's like dog years for us. And just, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I started as a receptionist down in Southern California. Actually, it's not totally true. I started as a shipper because I asked my dad for a job when I was in college. So there's a whole lot of story there, but yeah, I've done so many things in this industry. I was an internal loan consultant making $90 a loan as the receptionist in a strip mall next to a Whole Foods.
Yeah.
In 2003 and 2004, when I really cut my teeth, I was out in the streets, going to open houses, broker previews, all the stuff that we do today. And then, I've built big branches, I've run big branch networks, and now I get the, privilege of serving as the SVP of Production for the West Coast for loanDepot. So I've been here now for almost 11 years, which is pretty wild.
Wow. And Southern California, yeah? Orange County?
So now I'm running about 12 states in the West.
Awesome.
And I'm down here in SoCal, hiding in the nice weather.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Thank you for sharing that. So talk to me about your book, like the history behind it, what you started to see, the digital influence, building your brand.
I really started working on it in 2018, and we have goldfish brains as lenders, so we kind of forget like what was happening in 2018, but it was exactly what's happening now, except COVID took us out of it. So in 2018, we were in the rates were going up. We were in this margin compression world. It was happening, right? Like what's been happening now, it was starting to happen.
Yep.
And as a street kid, meaning, a local professional, someone who built their business with local realtors, local builders, I had this epiphany where, and many other people have had this, but for me, it really landed. I was like, okay, there's some major shifts that have happened over the last 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
And we really haven't adapted our strategies as local pros. And so what I mean by this is like the first big aha moment was we've become, in my opinion, an internet first society.
Yeah.
And, what I mean by that specifically is we've got, all of human knowledge in our pocket.
Yep.
And when we want information, instead of the old school, like, let me call my friends, my parents, get some referrals, which we still do kind of, we go on the internet.
Yeah, big time.
And then, we poke around and we get fed information, sometimes misinformation, so that was the first thing, was like, we become internet first society, and that's going to affect how we do things. And the second thing was the sales cycle now has changed for the local mortgage professional.
For sure.
A realtor in the glory days with a private multiple listing service had all of this knowledge that was exclusive to them. And if you wanted that knowledge, you had to go work with them. You had to call your agent and say, I want to see houses in this market. What's for sale? Maybe you looked in the newspaper, but like you didn't have access to it.
Yeah.
And so an agent controlled a predominant amount of the influence on a transaction because they had the knowledge. And so as I wrote this, I was like, you know what? The local mortgage professional is screwed because there's big independent brands telling consumers that you don't need a mortgage professional.
Right.
It's a commodity, push a button, get a mortgage. You don't need to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
And that's a lie.
Right.
But with enough money, they can sell that narrative and convince the consumer that that's true.
Yeah.
So I started working on this book, Bypassed. I started working on a thing called the Modern Lending Playbook that loanDepot uses to help train our loan officers.
Yep.
And I got really active in social media myself, because if I was going to tell people to do this and then I wasn't doing it, that doesn't jive with me.
Right.
And so, I published the book. I put out a lot of content. 100% of the proceeds of the book go to Freedom Alliance to support our veterans that are coming back with, PTSD and issues. They do care packaging. Awesome. I don't make any money on the book at all, because growing up in this business, like, the only reason I was successful was because I asked great producers how they did what they did, and they just told me for free.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm doing the same thing then. I've been given so much from some great people. I'm just going to put it into this context, give this book, and give all the proceeds to vets.
Awesome. Yes, that's amazing. And you mentioned something, the consumer, right? They're going, it's internet first, right? And even it had me think, like, there's studies out there, even people referred to a business, they're still going to go to Google, right? They're going to go to Google 9 out of 10 times. They're going to Google. They're looking. They're going to be looking who they're going to be working with, right?
So, by the way, my first little sneak pro tip is every single mortgage and real estate professional out there must have a Google business profile.
Absolutely.
Have to have a Google business profile
with reviews.
Yeah, I mean, if they're going to go search you there, you might as well have your space carved out already.
Of course. Yeah. Google will, if you don't, someone's going to create it, or it'll be there if you have a location, and you got to claim that. But 100%. Awesome. So what would you like today? What would you do, or what are you coaching people to do to thrive in the market today?
It's funny you said that. So I'm just releasing a 7-part series called "Fine, I'll Just Tell You What to Do." And because I just, and look, and let me preface this, because that's a lot of ego in that comment. It's a personal perspective, guys. I'm sharing it because I'm in the meat and in the dirt with everybody else. That sounds like very arrogant, but I've closed 185 million in 1 year. I know what it takes to be a top performer. But I also am very, very in tune to the relevancy of the current consumer. And so this is my viewpoint. Yes, it has a little bit of silliness when I'll tell you what to do, but here's the 7 areas, right? And I'm releasing them once a week. So I've done 2. So the rest are going to come out later, but I'll give them all to you right now, Brian.
Awesome.
One is a concept called ICE, which has to do with how you grow your social connection and your community, right? Identify and connect and engage with the people you want to engage with. I joke that if all of your past customers and all of the top agents in your market were connected to you on all these platforms, how much quicker can you build relationships, be in tune with the market, have people see your stuff and build your brand? So number 1 is build a robust digital community. Number 2 is send something physical in the mail every single month to the top agents in your market and to your past customers. And and everyone goes well, that costs money. And I'm like, so does a billboard. But this is the best marketing money you can spend, is send those people something physical in the mail they can touch, see, and
like a gift or something. Is that what you're saying? Like a gift, or what are you sending?
So it can be as simple as a personal newsletter where you kind of explain what's going on in the market and what you see and how you're reacting and what you're doing and wishing people well with some tips and strategies. You can even make it more personal and share, your favorite restaurant of the month and really something that someone could be like, oh, okay, that's useful. But or it could be silly. I used to send people, I mailed the top 100 agents in my market a physical brick. with a note on it that said, let's build a strong foundation together. I'd love a chance to earn your next loan. And people were like, what the hell? They got a brick in the mail. I send people stuff in tubes. I would send people, stress balls, saying, hey, one was in the shape of a dog bone, said, throw me a bone. Just something that is fun, creative, helpful, thoughtful, that gets them. It's marketing. You're marketing to these people. You're trying to build influence. So the third is the old school, get in front of your agents face-to-face strategy. I don't know why we've forgotten this, but it's just so obvious to me. They're out in broker preview. They're out at communities. They're out at open houses. You need to be out there with them. It is so silly that we're not just face-to-face. We have the superpower over all of the other digital lenders because they're never going to be face-to-face.
Right. So
it's just get out there. Get out there, meet people, kiss babies, all the stuff. I don't know why we've forgotten this. But we have. And I'm like, you need to see 16 agents face-to-face per week. Broker previews and open houses.
Okay.
and make sure they're the top, the real agents. Like you have the list, right? You pulled the top 100, like go see the real dogs, meet their team if they're not there, build relationships. I cannot tell you how many loan officers today are not in the field.
Yeah.
It's a mistake.
Yeah. What are they doing? What are they doing?
Dude. So that's number 3. Number 4 is this concept of campaigning on social. And let's just put it out there like this simplistically. You need to have a strategy for what you're posting on social media.
Right.
Like an actual strategy, not just I post when I want to, like a thoughtful, intentional strategy that is consistent.
Yeah, you have it outlined in the book too.
Yeah, 100%. You gotta play, right? So that's a whole thing. The next one is local marketing. Once every 90 days, host an event or contribute to an event in your market where you bring people together. I don't care if it's a chili cook-off, a park cleanup, a bike ride, a charity event, something where you can go to all the agents, all your past customers every 90 days and be a kid's Easter egg hunt at the park.
Yeah.
And just invite humans together.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to spend any money, just go to the city and whatever they're doing, just piggyback on top of it and then invite all the agents and invite all your customers.
Right.
And like, it's a no-brainer.
Big time.
The last one is every single person, or the second last one is every single loan officer needs to have a podcast. Yeah. And before they get, twisted, Brian, and like, well, what do I say?
What are we going to talk about? What are we going to talk about?
I don't want to be famous. I'm like, just shut up. Bring once a month, bring on somebody who can help your past customers and your realtors with something. Right. I don't care if it's estate planning. I don't care if it's, how to maximize your taxable, returns, tax returns. Like I don't care if it's a contractor saying, here's what you look for if you're going to hire a contractor, like something that your past customer would be like, hey, this was really valuable. I got something. And it's just for them. Yeah. You're not trying to go become famous. Right. Bring them on, film it, share it, cut clips of it. It's a no-brainer, add value. It's also a compounding effect, right? You can take clips and share it on social. And of course, the person you interview is going to share it with their whole community, exposing you to a whole new audience. Big time. Shut up and do it, right? Right. And the seventh one, you're gonna show up in their feed. Love it. You get it, dude. Right? Yeah, 100%. And the seventh one is take all the cool stuff you're doing, the online campaign every month you're doing, the content you're putting out that you're running campaigns on, the local marketing event coming up, your podcast episode that just dropped. Take all the cool shit you're doing every month and put it into an e-newsletter to send to your customers and realtors, reminding them of all the cool stuff you're doing and things they can be a part of. Right. Instead of the drip campaign email that your company gives you that's garbage, take the cool stuff you're doing, remind your community of the stuff on social that you're putting out. Remind them of this cool event and the beach cleanup that you're hosting coming up. Remind them of this podcast with this cool estate planner that they should listen to because they need a will and they need to do end of life stuff before it's too late. Remind them, and that's what you send out. Yeah. So those are the 7 things, bro, in like a rapid fire that someone's gonna have to go back and listen to again because we went too fast. Yeah. But like, what should I be doing? Those 7 things. Love it. Done. Perfect. And you're on video too, so we know what's coming next. That's right. Yeah. Awesome. And you're doing that weekly? Every week. Awesome. Love it, man. So you mentioned something about ICE. Talk to me about that. What, Engage. I heard Engage. Yeah. It's one of the simplest and easiest ways to build a digital connection / community online. Right. People go put out a lot of content on the internet and they don't have the right community around them. So where is the impact? Yeah. It's like my mom follows me on Twitter, so I'm not getting tons of leads from my Twitter. No wonder. Weird. So ICE stands for Identify, Connect, and Engage. Identify is simple. Who do you want on your digital community team? Who do you want there? And it's your past customers. It's the realtors, real estate community, especially the top agents. It's business owners, entrepreneurs, et cetera, right? Yep. So once you have that list, the connect part is the part that requires consistency, even though it's a C, consistency. Yep. Take 5 a day, 5 of the top agents, 5 of your past customers, find them on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, and friend and follow them. That's the connect. Just connect with them. Yeah. Just like, hey, Brian, I did your loan a year ago. I just found your profile on Facebook. Great to see you again. Love to connect. How are you? How are the kids? And then hit the friend request button. Yeah.
That's yep.
Now, some of your past
I think they'll be
customers,
surprised how many of their clients are on these channels, right?
oh yeah, we're so we have this stupid bias. Maybe it's not stupid. We have a bias against the social feeds because there's a lot of toxicity, a lot of political rants, a lot of BS on those platforms. But if you someone even told me like I'm not going to ever be on Fakebook, and I'm like, okay, bro. Okay. First of all, like get over yourself. Your customers are there. Your customers are there
for sure.
So stop with the arrogance and go, okay, well, I should probably show up where my customers are. That's a no-brainer. So
yeah,
stop it. So after the connect and every day you're adding 5 to 10 names, you can see in a year, 2 years, your impact, the snowball, the community that you're developing is going to be big.
It's going to compound.
Absolutely. So the last part of ICE is E. So after you connect with the 5 to 10 names, spend the next 10 to 15 minutes intentionally scrolling through the feed, looking for your realtors and your past customers. And when you see them post whatever they're posting, wins, the kids' soccer game, their new listing, comment, like give them, don't just emoji thumb up it, like comment on it. Like you actually give a shit, like you actually care. Let's just pretend, you know, we all say we're relationship, you know, people, where I love relationships. I'm not a transaction person. And I'm like, well, how often do you talk to them? I never talk to them.
Well, that's, come on.
So engage.
What do they engage? They just engage on anything they post, like their friend, or they're out with their friend for lunch or whatever. It's like, that's good. It's like something simple, right?
Well, and I have to put an asterisk on it because some people like, don't be a creep. Like the second they post, you're not like, like don't be a total creep. This is why you're kind of only doing it once a day. But like, don't post out everything they post. If they're posting every day or multiple times a day, don't be commenting every time. Like that's creepy. We don't do that in real life. Don't do that.
Right.
But every time that you see their stuff, you comment, they know you're helping their algorithm. They know you're helping their post boost. And they get a little dopamine hit because you actually gave a crap and said something to them.
They do. Yeah, that's so true. And what you're going to start to be more top of mind, right? They're going to look at their notifications like, oh, look, boom, Alec did this. Alec liked this. Oh, he said, he commented. They're going to get little notifications on their phone when someone does
They're going to get a little notification that someone cared. And so when we're talking about building relationships and we're talking about, you know, actually connecting with people, this is how you do it. So that's an everyday thing.
I love it, man. Yeah, I wonder how many. I'm just thinking, like all the people I've talked to, even all my clients, like, are they doing this right? So I really want to go back with my clients and say, like, you need to do this, and I'm going to train my team to do that, like help them do that. Like,
I mean, look, a lot of sales and marketing and prospecting in a relationship building style strategy involves contact. Like I got to call you. I got to bump into you. I got to see you at the weekend. I got to see you at a mixer. I need contact because we have to figure out, and you have to figure out if you like me before you decide if you trust me or want to use me for a referral.
Right.
So I can speed that up by increasing my rate of contact as long as it's an appropriate rate and not creepy. I wouldn't call everyone every day.
Right.
And this is an absolute way to do it for free.
Absolutely. I love it. And of course you could do this with all the realtors too, right? Your referral partners.
Of course.
And I mean, obviously it must have taken a lot longer to build that relationship with realtors 10 years ago, right? Or 20 years ago.
I mean, it could take anywhere from 6 months to a year to break into a realtor and get a new relationship. And now with the access to them via social and you can speed that up dramatically.
Love it. And how would you use this for referrals? Like, how would you use this for just getting referrals from your past clients?
Well, first of all, like you can imagine, you're staying top of mind. So as you're marketing to them and as you're connecting and engaging and you're seeing their stuff, they're constantly reminded of you. And if you're mailing them something intentionally, like I just said before, like a newsletter or something fun, you know, now they're getting something physical. Now they're getting you online. if you're campaigning, now they're seeing your videos.
Yep.
So now not only are they seeing you reach out to them, they're seeing your messaging come out. I mean, the amount of wraparound marketing you can put around a past customer today for free, well, maybe a little mail, is insane.
Right.
And so in that language, if you're not asking for referrals in an appropriate way, you're missing the boat, because that's where you do it.
Yeah.
You know, I might put out a video that says, you know, I'm really looking to help 10 first-time home buyers this next, quarter. I want to do 10 loans for first-time home buyers. And I do my social campaign. I have my podcast about, how to buy your first home with some people that are smart and a realtor or whatever. And I have all this content. Now, not only can I share it, but I can email it directly to my past customers and say, hey, I need your help.
Right.
In my monthly newsletter, it can be an ask.
Yeah.
And it just says, hey, can you please, help me reach my goal of 10. Do you know anybody who could possibly be looking to buy their first home this year?
Yeah.
So again, it's surround sound marketing, and it's easy and it's free and relatively inexpensive.
Right. Or the mail is not free, but yeah.
The mail. I mean, that's all. That's like what are we talking?
Yeah, I know. There was so you mentioned something about video. What do people do there?
They just need to get into the world of video. It's
they got to practice, right? It's a skill.
I mean, let's just start with the foundation, Brian.
Yeah,
we as human beings love video. There's billion-dollar industries, movies, TV. We love it.
Yep.
We watch it all the time. We connect with it. Why? Because that medium somehow speaks to us. We can get something emotional from it. We can see people's eyes and energy, and it's not face to face.
Yeah,
but it's impactful. Look at the commercial business, right? I'm talking like TV commercials.
Yeah,
billions of dollars to make an impact, and they're using video.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a core thing that has to be played with. Now, when you're going to show up on video, there's tips and tricks: camera angle, lighting. Use Google, figure it out, or call me. It's not hard, but there are best practices,
right,
that everyone should kind of know. But after that, it just takes repetitions to get comfortable.
Yeah.
And become really you, not someone who's nervous or someone who's kind of too tight.
Yeah.
It takes time to be really you on these platforms.
It does. Yeah.
But we can't deny the impact they have. That'd be arrogant, ignorant. That they make impact. So go learn and get good. I like to frame it up this way, Brian. When I walked into my first open house with an agent that I didn't know.
Yeah.
Super uncomfortable, right? They know I'm there to solicit them. Right. I know I'm there to solicit them. And I'm like, hey, Brian, how you doing today? And they're like, just good. Who are you?
Right.
But after 6 months of going into their open house and broker preview every week after week, that uncomfortableness is gone.
Right. Yeah.
I'm a safe person. They know I'm not putting pressure on them to send me a deal. I'm not cornering them. I'm just there to be like, hey, Brian, good to see you. How's the market? And shoot the breeze with you for a minute.
Yep.
That's the same progression with video.
Yeah. Love it. What content do you see? What do you notice with video? The content that people consume most of, is what?
Helpful and funny.
Helpful and funny.
Now, if you're not a funny person per se, and you're like, that's not my stick, then helpful is amazingly there. Here's why we're turned off by all this social stuff in video. Most of the stuff we see are people just talking about themselves in some way or another.
Yeah.
It's humble brags.
I'm doing this. I've been in the business this long. I know this much.
Yeah. And it's none of that, or they're trying to be some kind of influencer where they're like, hey, besties, it's your boy, Alec. And I'm like, shut up. Stop being inauthentic.
Right.
That's not who you are. And everyone can see that. And so they're turned off. So just be helpful. One of the best ways I've heard it described is kind of invent the avatar or the target of a message and speak directly to that person. So for example, one avatar could be the first-time homebuyer couple that's newly married.
Yeah.
They're newly married, newly sharing finances, and they want to get ready to buy their first home.
Mm-hmm.
If that's your avatar, you can picture that person in your head. Like you can see exactly what their life experiences have been, like where they're at, what they're going through. Maybe you've gone through it.
Yep.
So sharing a message directly to that avatar and stories and pathways and ideas for them.
Yeah.
Is one of the best ways to find yourself lined up on the right style of content, the right angle of the deal. If you come out so broad, let's talk about DTI. Everyone's like, I don't know what do you mean? Like,
right. Yeah.
Why do I care?
Yeah.
So defining your audience / avatar and speaking directly to them is one way to get really clear on what you want to say.
Yeah. Love it. That's so good. And that's what I do, what I've done in my business. Like I know who I'm going after, and all my marketing is engaged for that. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. So LOs out there, what do you think they're not doing enough of everything we just talked about, or not doing well right now? What do you think?
For 2 years, 2.5 years or so, and you could argue maybe for the last 10. So like I'll just go big, but let's just say 2 years, the market forced great originators to be gatherers.
Yeah.
And of course, it brought in some LOs who just wanted to be gatherers. But if you were any good at all, you were probably buried in refinances.
Right.
I mean, if you ever talk to your old customers, you were probably swimming in files.
Yep.
And in that process, you didn't have to sell because it was just, here's a better rate than you have. Like, how hard is that? That's not hard.
Yeah.
You didn't have to hunt.
Yeah.
You didn't have to go meet new agents. You didn't have to go put yourself out on social and try to find ways to get business and build brand. You didn't have to do any work.
Yeah.
And so most loan officers didn't do the work. They did loans. And those are a big different thing. And now when it's time to get aggressive and go build your business and get out of your offices and out of your homes and into the streets, a lot of loan officers just aren't doing it.
Yeah.
They're not like, I challenged an office the other day. I was like, how many of you guys are out at broker preview and open houses every weekend? Just one of the 7 strategies I talked about. How many of you just meeting new agents?
Right.
And it's embarrassing how many of them realize that they're not.
Wow.
And I get it. Like, Alec, I've been in the business for 10 years or 5 years or whatever, and I don't want to work weekends anymore. Okay. But someone's going to.
Yeah.
Like your realtor partners they're there. They don't want to do it. You think they want to do it?
Nope.
No, they want a million offers coming in, just listing a property and not having to do any work at all. They don't want to do it. But this is called the work. You can't not work and win. So like, I'm sorry if you're like, well, I don't want to get on social and make videos. Well, then you're not going to be as successful as you're capable of being.
Right.
And that's okay too. Like, just have awareness, but like, you got to get into aggressive action right now. You got to be working hard, and you're going to get very little return. Like, let's be clear. The market is unforgiving. You can bust tail every weekend and still barely get enough loans to get by this cycle. But those that are not doing it, they're leaving the industry.
This is going to weed out, right? This time, that's I'm hearing that a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, I love it. What we touched on reviews a little bit. What do you suggest there for people on Google? Like what is a good process for people to like ask their clients for a review?
Well, I think the 2 places I know you have to be for reviews are Google and Yelp.
Yeah.
And I hate Yelp, so but I still have to say it. Because as you know, Brian, if someone wants to create a Yelp review on you and you don't exist there, they can just make a profile up of you, and now you exist there. So it's like, you got to go claim your space.
Yep.
And if someone gives you a 1 star, that's the first place I look on Yelp is 1 star. I want to see how the owner responded.
Yeah.
To 1 star, because we all know there's crazy people out there.
Yeah.
So Yelp and Google, and 3rd place would be like a Facebook business page. If you're trying to build that up for marketing for later, but that's a whole other podcast topic.
Right.
But those are where you got to go. And then of course, you got to ask. And I found the best time to ask is after loan approval.
Okay.
Because they still need you. they're not moving yet. They still need to close. They're not in the chaos of the post-close insanity.
Yeah.
But their loan's approved, so they're going to be closing.
Yep.
And so I found that's the perfect time to ask for reviews.
So right after the loan approval, not necessarily the closing, right? Or a week after the closing, they're moving and, or
dude, everyone who's ever moved, it's chaos.
Yeah.
Dude, they're not going to do a review while their house is on fire and their boxes are moved everywhere and lost. And
it's just send them an email there. It's going to get overlooked, I think,
Exactly.
Awesome, man. So Alec, please, listeners, go to the website. There's a lot of great resources on there. I know Alec's YouTube channel, Instagram, he's on all of them. Grab a copy of the book. One last question. What would you say is like the greatest insight for a mortgage broker that's trying to grow their business?
Oh, there's no geography on the internet.
Yeah.
And, I remember in the glory days driving around to the cities I could get to within 30 minutes before open houses would close, right? Open houses or broker previews like 1 to 4. So I got to drive from in that window to hit these houses. Mm-hmm. I can't be going from this place to this city. I'll never see everybody. Yeah. So it really forced a geography restriction on your business.
Yep.
There's nothing like that on the internet. You can impact people across the entire country with a video.
Yeah.
And so what people forget is the same consistency required to build relationships in real life is required to build relationships on the internet. So you make one video, you show up once, you're getting nothing.
Right.
You show up every day for a year, you're going to make an impact.
Big time. Yeah. That consistency. Ice.
All day.
Love it, man. It was so great to have you on. Thank you so much for your time. Again, people, so the website, just Google them and you'll find them. Thank you.
Right on, my man. Thanks, Brian.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
If you would like to generate more sales through your digital marketing efforts, please visit mortgagebrokermarketing.com and get a copy of the book, Internet Marketing for Mortgage Brokers, tripling your online sales by getting your internet marketing done the right way. Also check the training section of the website for guides on everything from running effective pay-per-click ads to optimizing your Google My Business listing. This has been another episode of the Mortgage Success Podcast. Thank you for listening.